hosting congregational conversations and workshops,
Good morning, and welcome to Grand River Unitarian Congregation. Whether you are tuning in online or in person, For the first time or the 100th, we are grateful for your showing up. However and whenever you can be part of this wonderful community. But we do ask you to turn off your cell phone, please. Oh, I'm going to say this wrong, and I apologize in advance. We are gathering on the Haudenosaunee Confederacy Treaty Land. A treaty is an inheritance, a responsibility, and a relationship. May we be good neighbors to one another, good stewards to our planet, and good ancestors to all of our children. The voices and stories of the ancestral holders of this land had long been absent from our history books. May we, as UUs, guided by our 8th principle, commit anew to reclaiming and restoring those stories. My name is Mel Rock, and I've been a member a long time, even though I have a temp tag because I keep forgetting my regular one. I have actually been a Universalist Unitarian with a neo-pagan spirit, ask me about this, for 36 years, and a member of this loving congregation for over 20. I used to have a bumper sticker on my car, when I had a car, that said, "Not all who wander are lost." And I think that might make a good, simple elevator speech for our faith. Not all who wander are lost. We welcome all of you to our service, especially those of you who are searching for a spiritual home. Many of us were once seeking for something larger than ourselves to which we could belong, a sense of rootedness to hold us as we create meaning together. We do that well here, though not perfectly. In this congregation, we strive not for perfection, but for authenticity and connection. Whether it's your first time in worship with us or your 100th time, we hope that you'll find here questions that stretch you, people that befriend you, moments that calm you, and liberal religious values that challenge you to join us in loving boldly, living justly, and welcoming radically. As Unitarian Universalists, we gather in covenant, not creed. There is no hard set of beliefs to which you must subscribe here. You can learn more about UUism in general and this community in particular by subscribing to our weekly email newsletter, but the best way to learn is to consent to be present among us. Don't be afraid to ask questions and get connected. And if you are new here, we encourage you to visit us several times because our services vary. And today is actually a good example of that. Please know that you're warmly invited to join us for coffee, tea, and conversation after the service, and visit the welcome table for introductions and information. However, as an example of our diverse services, today we are celebrating Beltane, or May Day, or the beginning of real spring. And at the end of the service, after we've done this, amen, we will gather volunteers to come up to the front and take drums, and we will lead a procession out of the church to the backyard, example, drum, to celebrate the maypole. We will dance the maypole. We have a beautiful pole with lots of ribbons, and we have some very special music, and it's a lovely, lovely experience. We invite you all to join us. We also have a special guest today, Susan Reid, who values interdependence, integrity, and authenticity. She was raised in the Hamilton Unitarian Church and is now a member of the Stratford Unitarians. She is a community activist at heart. For about 20 years, she served as a registered professional planner in rural Southwest Ontario. For Susan, contributing in this way is an expression of faith, and she is grateful for the opportunity to offer some reflections on the 5th Unitarian principle from the perspective of a municipal planner working in There are 8 principles that inform our Unitarian faith. The 5th principle is the right of conscience and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and in society at the large. Thank you for being here today, Susan. Let us now set aside the busyness of our everyday lives, including our phones, and let us settle into the business of being. Please rise in body or spirit for hymn 389 to be sung in a round, gathered here. Let this flame, oh, Margaret? Thank you. Let this flame be to us a symbol of the wholeness we seek. Its glow reminding us of the sacred bonds which link us to all people. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in harmony with the earth. Thus do we covenant together. And now, Nick is going to do a story for all ages, so if all the children and young at heart will join us up here for a story.
Good morning. Today I'm going to read a book called Iggy Peck, Architect. It's by Andrew Beattie, illustrated by David Roberts. Young Iggy Peck is an architect and has been since he was 2. When he built a great tower in only an hour, with nothing but diapers and glue. "Good gracious, Ignatius," his mother exclaimed. "That's the coolest thing I've ever seen." But her smile faded fast as a light wind blew past, and she realized those diapers weren't clean. "Ignatius, my son, what on earth have you done? That's disgusting and nasty. It stinks." But Iggy was gone. He was out on the lawn, using dirt clods to build a great sphinx. When Iggy was 3, his parents could see his unusual passion would stay. He built churches and chapels from peaches and apples, and temples from modeling clay. At dinner one night, to his father's delight, Iggy got a bright gleam in his eye, and out on the porch built a St. Louis arch from pancakes and coconut pie. Dear Iggy had it made until 2nd grade, when his teacher was Miss Lila Greer. On the very first day, she had this to say: "We do not talk of buildings in here. Gothic or Romance, I couldn't care less about buildings ancient or new." She said in her lecture about architecture that it had no place in grade 2. That might seem severe, but she was sincere. For when she was no more than 7, she had a great fright at a dizzying height in a building so tall it scraped heaven. On an architect's tour of the 95th floor, young Lila got lost from the group. She was found 2 days later in a stuck elevator, eating cheese with a French circus troupe. After that day, it's quite safe to say she thought all building lovers were nuts. As a teacher, she taught that above all one ought to avoid them, no ifs, ands, or buts. As you might guess, it would cause Iggy stress to hear such terrible talk. But he didn't hear. He sat in the rear while building a castle of chalk. "You, Iggy Peck, your desk is a wreck. Tear down that castle right now. You will not build in here, is that perfectly clear? Do you need to see Principal Howe?" "No, ma'am," Iggy said. He lowered his head, and his heart sank down to the floor. With no chance to build, his interest was killed. Now 2nd grade was a bore. After 12 long days that passed in a haze of reading, writing, and arithmetic, Miss Greer took the class to Blue River Pass for a hike and an old-fashioned picnic. They crossed an old trestle to a small island nestled in the heart of a burbling stream, but they no sooner passed than the footbridge collapsed, and Miss Lila Greer started to scream. "We're trapped here, oh my, oh alas, kids, goodbye." Her eyeballs rolled back in her head. She dropped to the ground with a vague groaning sound, luckily fainted, not dead. The class was amazed. They stood there quite dazed, uncertain of what they should do. But one bright young man was off hatching a plan and started with Miss Lila's shoe. Soon each lad and lass there at Blue River Pass was working together as one. And when they came in, Miss Lila Greer knew that something quite brave had been done. She looked in the air and saw hanging there a structure with cables and braces, and on the far side, beaming with pride, were 17 smiling young faces. Boots, trees, roots and string, fruit roll-ups and things, some of which one should not mention, were stretched ridge to ridge in a glorious bridge, dangled from shoestring suspension. It all became clear to Miss Lila Greer as she crossed that bridge over the stream. There are worse things to do when you're in grade 2 than to spend your time building a dream. Now every week at Blue River Creek Elementary in 2nd grade, all the school kids can hear, along with Miss Greer, how the world's greatest buildings were made. The weekly guest speaker in t-shirts and sneakers talks of buildings from Rome to Quebec. Of course, he's the guy who builds towers from pie, that brilliant young man, Iggy Peck.
Hello. Hi, it worked. Okay, I'm Susanna Reid, and I'm offering a poem written by Marge Piercy called The Low Road, which I have made some adaptions and have retitled it to be On Building Community. Alone you can fight, you can refuse, you can take what revenge you can, and they roll over you. Two people can keep each other sane, can give support, conviction, love, massage, sex. Three people are a delegation, a committee, a wedge. With four, we can play bridge and start an organization. With six, we can rent a whole house, eat pie for dinner with no seconds, and hold a fundraising party. A dozen make a demonstration, 100 fill a hall, 1,000 have solidarity and our own newsletter, 10,000 power and our own paper, 100,000 our own media, 10 million our own country. It goes on one at a time. It starts when we care enough to act. It starts when we do it again after they say no. It starts when we say we, and we know who we mean. And each day, we mean one more.
That's better. Our weekly offering is not just for support of the building itself, but the building of community within these walls and beyond its windows. How we spend our money is a reflection on what we hold to be important. When we sustain our church, we sustain our deepest values together. One of those values is hospitality. So if you are a visitor to our church today, we invite you to let the basket pass. Let your presence here be gift enough. Thank you for your generous support to our community. This time is set aside in our service to recognize the joys and sorrows that we bring with us today. You are invited to come forward and light a candle in silence, or if you are facing a moment in your life that we might help in prayer, support, or celebration, you may come to the microphone and, in one breath sharing, please, let us know how we can support you. We light this first candle in honor of our fifth principle, the right of conscience and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and in society at large.
Hello, I'm Malou, and I light this candle in memory of my brother who died this week.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm lighting a candle today for my cousin who, after a long fight with kidney disease, passed away recently. I'm just grateful she got a couple months of freedom.
Hi, I'm Brenda, and I'm lighting this candle for a new friend of mine, Hamida. Her family's from Iran. Her daughter is 30 and an oncologist. She's 6 months pregnant. They live in Tehran, and just pray for peace.
Hello, my name is Allison. I have a candle of celebration today for a young woman named Yanette. I met her in 2007 in Sosua, Dominican Republic. She was in an anti-child labor project. Her family was could not send her to school. I asked what could I be or do in her life. I've been supporting her education, and next month she graduates with her degree in psychology.
How wonderful.
A sorrow for Reverend Pat Trudeau, our Unicamp minister in residence who passed away December 27th. But I haven't been here to say that, so she's deeply missed. And a joy and a thank you to all of the community of UUs and Unicampers who came forward last year to help with a very significant financial crisis due to a large ice storm and other factors, made it through the year with a healthy cash flow, healthy cash balance, helping us to pay for all those massive storm damages. And so we continue and go on and hope to see you at Unicamp. Thank you all.
We light a final candle for all those joys and sorrows yet unspoken among us today. Please stay sing our pastoral prayer, 123, Spirit of Life. This is A Little Life by Tanya Yagahara. The only trick of friendship, I think, is to find people who are better than you are. Not smarter, not cooler, but kinder and more generous and more forgiving. And then to appreciate them for what they can teach you. And to try to listen to them when they tell you something about yourself, no matter how bad or good it might be. And to trust them, which is the hardest thing of all, but the best as well.
Morning, everyone. Part of the religious education curriculum when I was growing up in the Hamilton Unitarian Church was attending services from other denominations. I remember our church school going to a Quaker service, a Catholic church, and a Jewish synagogue. We were taught that there were many different faiths, to respect all faith traditions, and that our opportunity was to discern from all the different ways to live a good life what our particular journey looked like. We were taught that Unitarians find opportunities to learn from religious texts and poets, philosophers and musicians, and the lessons of our own lived lives. So this is the story of my faith journey, working as a municipal planner in rural Ontario. It has been the central part of my life for more than 20 years. And before I talk about the faith journey that has been my work, I want to introduce the fifth Unitarian principle. In the fall of 2024, we had the first annual general meeting of the Stratford Unitarian Church. After exploring becoming a church for 14 years, we now have 25 members. Several people from Grand River Unitarian came to our first membership service, and it was wonderful to have the support and participation of other UUs. Before the AGM, I was reading the UU principles on the back of the order of service at our church in Stratford, and I got stuck on the 5th principle. The right of conscience and the use of the democratic process in our congregations and society at large. The right of conscience and use of the democratic process in our congregations and society at large. So my career has been heavily invested in local democracy, and I'm really into organizational structure generally, which I know is not everyone's jam. But I was blown away by how cool the 5th principle is. Our Unitarian faith invites and affirms participating in democracy in our churches and in society as part of our practice, being in relationship with each other and civil society. My journey to becoming a municipal planner started in Stratford in the late 90s. I was an environmentalist. Together with a group of friends and people in the community, we were working on reducing the community's ecological footprint through insulating homes, installing low-flow toilets, and changing behavior around lawn pesticide and active transportation. We attended council meetings and started organizations. We held a dandelion festival complete with t-shirts. We organized a conference around genetically modified food. We all read the local paper, the Beacon Herald, and we talked about what was going on in Stratford and in Perth County. Around about that time, some of my friends were running for city council. I felt connected, a sense of belonging. We were all participating in the local democracy. We were making a difference. We were talking about what mattered, and we were contributing in a meaningful way. I wanted to understand how decisions were made and how local change happened, and so I went off to the University of Guelph and I completed a master's degree in rural planning and development. Municipal planning is all about how land is used. It's about where the houses, stores, factories, schools, parks, and churches will be. Sort of like a real-life SimCity, if you have any familiarity with that video game. It provides very specific requirements about the permitted height and density of new buildings and where buildings can be located on a lot. It is complex. There is a lot to know. The planning requirements are determined both by local zoning and policy and provincial policy and regulations. The process identifies what studies are required in order to make decisions, which could be anything that demonstrating that the soil is not contaminated or that it has been contaminated, or how a property will be serviced with municipal water and sewer, or how noisy it will be, or if it will adequately protect a standing forest. Municipal planning is administrative. It is contentious. It is detailed-oriented, and it is aspirational. I throw myself into the aspirational. Celebrate the authenticity of community conflict and tolerate the day-to-day administration with the narrative that I am contributing to the public good. The public good is the core of professional planning. In municipal planning, this means analyzing a policy for the eye of the intersection of social well-being, environmental protection and enhancement, and economic livelihoods. So this piece in the middle, the intersection of these three spheres, social, environmental, and economic, is considered the public good. When a municipality receives a development application for a subdivision or a manufacturing facility or a livestock operation or a school, the municipal planner is tasked with defining the public good. This includes ensuring new homes will not have air quality issues from neighboring industries, ensuring active transportation infrastructure is incorporated into new developments, and that existing livestock barns have adequate setbacks from new homes. At Guelph, I learned that development means change, and planning means the process to make change happen. I was taught that any person enters planning with a preference for environmental protection, economic development, or social well-being, and being a planner means finding a balance within competing interests. Community planning feels creative to me, like improvisational theater. If we imagine the entire community to be the stage, the municipal official plan provides a script, and the Planning Act, the provincial legislation, is the rule book that outlines how a developer or a citizen or a property owner can enter the stage. And entering the stage could look like submitting a planning application to seek permission for a new development, or attending a public meeting to comment on a planning application. And actors include the municipal staff, including the clerk and the CAO and the planners and the building department and the engineers. It also includes council as the decision maker, and it might include consultants, stakeholder groups like the Downtown BIA or the Ontario Federation of Agriculture. Every actor represents a unique perspective, and every actor has a decorum informed by their background and perhaps their privilege in society. Over the 20 years I have spent working as a municipal planner in rural Ontario, I have noticed that many, many people never enter the stage. They never come into the theater that is community planning. And often when people enter the stage, they bring a voice to their own interest. Many people come to public meetings with concerns about the impact of a development on their own property value. I find this both surprising and appropriate. I find it surprising that the public, the community, doesn't show up to talk about the public good. And then I think, well, I guess that's the job of the planner. The planner's role is to name all the interests at play in any land use change and bring that observation to council as the decision maker. I was surprised early in my career to experience the forcefulness of individuals when I offered planning comments. In a society renowned for being polite, Canadians are rarely polite when it comes to planning. I remember thinking that my efforts to thoughtfully analyze land use policy and zoning would be gratefully received by developers, local council, and the public, and it is rarely the case. After I had been working as a planner for a while, I attended a service at the Hamilton Unitarian Church that focused on the role of service. It was a significant aha moment for me to put together the idea of service and my role as a public servant, and the realization that I was in service to the public, to the local democracy. It started informing how I responded to people who communicated with me forcefully, changing my behavior from a defensive response to more acknowledging difference and outlining process. After some reflection, I developed a story that perhaps one's relationship to a place, a home, or a property has a similar importance to their relationship to their family. And meeting a municipal civil servant whose job it is to tell them what they can do on their property is affronting, or at least surprising to many people. People rarely act as their best selves in that moment. There was one notable exception. I worked on an official plan in the north part of Huron County where there is an Old Order Mennonite community. This community contributed to the development of a new official plan with care and thoughtfulness. They were organized. They knew what they valued. They informed themselves about the planning process. They read the draft official plan. They were considerate of the municipal staff. They were polite. They articulated the municipal values, which were different than their own, as an expression of respect. It felt practiced. Both the content and their tone of their contribution felt embodied in respect and care for the democratic process. I thought maybe it was what faith in action looked like. About 8 years after I was working as a municipal planner, I was introduced to a type of communication referred to as nonviolent. Nonviolence is what Gandhi used in responding to British rule in India. It's a translation of the Sanskrit word ahimsa. And one way of understanding ahimsa is loving in response to a feeling of hatred in myself. So at such time that something happens external to me, someone says or does something, or there's a situation, and I notice in myself an experience of aversion so substantial that I refer to it as hatred, that I am intentional about loving the person or the situation that has generated this response. Nonviolent communication, perhaps like democracy, is simple to understand and difficult to practice. It offers that every feeling points to an underlying need. Once a need is identified, a person can reflect on next steps. Nonviolent communication offers that all needs are beautiful and that forceful communication is a tragic expression of an unmet need. Being the recipient of forceful communication is a frequent occurrence in frontline municipal planning in rural Ontario. So I had lots and lots of opportunity holding space for unmet needs. For example, if someone came in and they wanted to build a shed that was in a location where it was larger than what the zoning bylaw prescribed, I would anticipate that they would be frustrated and I would name it. I could guess that their needs were around efficiency and affordability, as in, this will likely be frustrating for you. You'll need to submit a planning application in order to build in that location, and then I would explain the rationale for the zoning amendment. I found it effective. Generally, people seemed less likely to speak forcefully when I named their frustration. With practice, I was able to use nonviolent communication to welcome strong emotional expressions. This I find useful in responding to any type of challenge. And at public meetings, when I explored the needs underneath strongly spoken words, it was often an expression of caring or wanting to be seen and known for someone's contributions, or an expression of integrity, or a desire for the safety of someone's family. Once needs are identified, sometimes it is possible to use the planning process to identify strategies to respond. As I age, I have more and more appreciations of the gifts we have inherited from generations that went before us. I am grateful for democracy and the years of thought and practice that have contributed to its development. I am also grateful for our Unitarian faith and the years of thought and practice that have contributed to its development. The Unitarian Universalist website offered these words around the fifth principle. In our religious lives, the democratic process requires trust in the development of each individual conscience, a belief that such development is possible for each of us, as well as a commitment to cultivate our own conscience. We could call it a commitment to the value of each person. Theodore Parker, who was a Unitarian minister between the 1830s and 1850s, wrote, "Democracy means not, I am as good as you are, but you are as good as I am. My connection with the sacred is only as precious as my willingness to acknowledge the same connection in others." So may it be.
In your gray hymnal, responsive reading 577. If someone with courage and vision can rise to lead in nonviolent action, the winter of despair can, in the twinkling of an eye, be turned into the summer of hope.
It is possible to live in peace.
Nonviolence is not a garment to put on and off at will. Its seat is in the heart, and it must be an inseparable part of our being.
It is possible to live in peace.
Nonviolence, which is a quality of the heart, cannot come by an appeal to the brain. It is a plant of slow growth, growing imperceptibly but surely.
It is possible to live in peace.
If a single person achieves the highest kind of love, it will be sufficient to neutralize the hate of millions.
It is possible to live in peace.
If we are to reach real peace in this world, and if we are to carry on a real war against war, we shall have to begin with the children.
It is possible to live in peace.
The future depends on what we do in the present.
It is possible to live in peace.
But we now have a special announcement. I'll step aside.
Don't be so sad. Jess is leaving. That's a disaster. But remember, your search committee is working hard to make things better. Hey group, don't be afraid. The search team has news to share. This minute, they're getting out of their pews so they can walk up here to share it. And if you feel the pang of pain, hey group, refrain. The search committee is very happy. For well we know we have great news, no joke, it's true. All 7 of us feel pure elation. Na 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 na. Hey group, don't feel let down. We have found her and gone and got her. A reverend to lift our spirits again, and we can start to make it better. So let it out, let it in. Hey group,
have the envelope. I'm opening the envelope. Exciting news, exciting news. The search team, all of us here, plus Mel, who is doing sound, in the balcony, we have very exciting news. The search team has made the unanimous recommendation to the board that we appoint Reverend Ann Barker for a 3-year contract beginning August 1st. The board has enthusiastically accepted this recommendation, and Ann has said yes.
Reverend Ann is a Canadian and an experienced UU minister. She was previously the settled minister at the Westwood Unitarian Society in Edmonton and is currently the congregational life lead for Western Canada for the Canadian Unitarian Council. She currently resides in Saskatoon.
Rev Ann is passionate about Unitarian Universalism. She is a strong, supportive leader who will work collaboratively with the congregation. Rev Ann loves a good sermon, and you can see several of hers on YouTube. I know you want to go check her out. Who's next?
GRU can take pride in the fact that what we have built here is attractive to other ministers. Reverend Ann liked what you heard about our vibrant GRU community. She knew it was a place that she would like to be. Everybody has had a part in this recruitment.
The search team looks forward to chatting with you individually and answering questions you may have after the opening ritual of the Maypole dance taking place in our yard. We can talk and enjoy the dance at the same time.
Rev Ann will be visiting Kitchener on May 31st and will assist Rev Jess with the service. So there will be an opportunity to meet her. Ann has sent us a special greeting in an audio clip that Mel will play in a moment just after I suggest that we all thank Margaret in particular, who chaired the search committee and who put in many hours and lots of care to make this all happen very well. All right, so let's hear from Reverend Ann herself.
Hello, my name is Reverend Ann Barker, and I'm coming to you today from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. It is my great honor and privilege to have been invited to be your next minister. From the moment I opened up your congregational record, I just had a feeling of what a joyful, connected, vibrant community you are. And then talking to your search team and to your minister, they all described you in glowing terms, and they held you with such love and care. And that alone made it a really easy yes for me. Now, some of us, I think, have met along the way. You may have been to a Canadian Unitarian Council event where I'm working. I've been serving there in congregational life for the last 3 years, and I've been co-hosting congregational conversations and workshops and projects. You may have seen me last weekend at the Sean Loney Social Enterprise Workshop. Now that's something that's really close to my heart. You don't want to ask me about Sean Loney unless we have a big coffee and at least an hour. I love coffee and conversation and getting to know people. I want to know what's on your heart and mind, what lights you up, what's heavy or tender, what excites you, just what you're thinking about. What can we do together? I also love books and stories, and you'll see that I try to weave story into just about everything that I do. And I love to make things with my hands. I knit and crochet. We got a couple of precious grandbabies down in Toronto, so I like to make them warm, fuzzy blankets and toys. Now, it is really a generous invitation from your minister for me to join you on May 31st for the Sunday service. So if you're there that day, we'll get a chance for a first meeting in person. Otherwise, it's an August 1st start. And so in the meantime, Lori and I are packing up our house, and we'll pack up our car, and we'll load our dog Maisie, and we will hurtle our way eastward. Neither one of us has ever lived any further east than Saskatoon. So we're going to count on you to tell us what's great about Kitchener-Waterloo and what we don't want to miss as we start to find our way. I think it's going to be a grand adventure, and I look forward to sharing it with you. See you soon.
Well, that's pretty exciting. Let's all stand as we're able and sing We'll Build a Land, 121. Just one more reminder, there is no postlude today. After Amen, we invite you all to come up, take an instrument, and process with us. Whether you're going to join the maypole or not, join the procession. Share some of the joy you're feeling now about this amazing announcement. And let us continue to grow as citizens of our communities, our nation, and our world. Let us work to build the common good for ourselves and the generations to come. May it be so.
Shall see a world of light and a world of joy. Carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again.
Let the people say,